John Ulzheimer is known as one of our nation's most recognized credit experts. Having worked for 28 years in the credit industry, John has become one of the most prolific speakers about credit and the go-to authority on answers to credit-related questions. Credit Countdown with John Ulzheimer.
Hello, my name is John Ulzheimer, and I am a consumer credit expert. In today's educational video, I'm going to talk about a topic that I actually enjoy talking about quite a bit, which is credit repair. Credit repair gets a bad rap. A lot of people are under the incorrect impression that credit repair is illegal. Credit repair is absolutely not illegal as long as the company is following the rules conferred by the Credit Repair Organizations Act, or CROA, or CROA, most people in the industry refer to it as. Then credit repair is absolutely not illegal. It's actually a legally defined process in the Credit Repair Organizations Act, and I'm going to paraphrase it, but this is essentially what it is. If you are a for-profit company and you offer a service, and that service is marketed as being able to improve your credit score, improve your credit standing, any derivative of that phrase, then you are a credit repair organization. In some states, they're referred to as credit services organizations. It's the same thing. These companies essentially try to get, most of the time, negative information removed from consumers' credit reports, and they charge a fee to the consumer for their work in doing so. Generally speaking, credit repair companies will file disputes on behalf of their customers, and those dispute letters are attempts to get negative information removed from consumer credit reports. That in and of itself, some people from the industry don't like that process. That's fine. I'm not the judge or arbiter on that particular issue. You can have whatever opinion you'd like. However, there are at least 3 tactics that credit repair companies sometimes use that are kind of universally seen as being bad tactics. And in some cases, they're straight up illegal, or at the very least, misleading. So I'm going to talk about those 3 tactics here today. And if you ever run into a company that is marketing these, at the very least, be aware it might be illegal, or at the very least, the effectiveness or the efficacy of that particular strategy. It may be misleading, or it may be being presented to you in a way it causes you to believe that it's going to be more effective than it actually can be. The first one is what's called the 609 dispute letter. The 609 dispute letter is not illegal. I'll explain what it is, and then we can talk about whether or not it actually works. 609 is a section of the Fair Credit Reporting Act, Section 609. But essentially, Section 609 indicates that you, the consumer, have the right to everything that's in the credit bureau's database with respect to account information about you. And so if you ask for the information, then they have to give you a copy of it. What Section 609 does not give you the right to have is information that is not in the credit bureau's database. And so things like the original loan documents that you took out with a bank, they don't have that information, and so you don't have the right to ask them for that information. The 609 dispute letter is actually more sizzle than steak. There's no section in the Fair Credit Reporting Act that indicates that that letter is treated any differently than any other type of letter, but essentially a 609 dispute letter, which you can download off the internet for free. You don't have to pay someone for those. The way it's worded, it suggests that unless you give me every single thing about my account in your system, then you must delete this negative entry from my credit reports. That's not necessarily true. However, that is the 609 dispute letter. So if you run into a company that kind of has that as an option, then you might want to get some clarity as to whether or not those are any more effective than any other letters they may send. And the Credit Repair Organizations Act, if they lie to you about the effectiveness, and that'd be a violation, because that would be misleading you into believing that it's more effective than it actually is. That's number 1. The next 2 that I'm going to talk about fall squarely under the heading of scumbag. This next one is clearly illegal, and that is the credit sweep. If you Google credit sweep, you're going to find any number of very entertaining and very misleading YouTube videos about the credit sweep. The credit sweep basically, again, it doesn't exist. It's just a fancy marketing term that some credit repair companies are throwing around. And the credit sweep is basically an attempt by a credit repair company to get you, the consumer, to lie and say that you've been the victim of fraud And fraudulent police report indicating that someone has stolen your identity and therefore all of the negative information on your credit report is there because you were the victim of fraud, which isn't actually true. And then send this information to the credit reporting agencies and then somehow sweep all of the negative information off of your credit reports. That is illegal. Filing a false police report is a crime. And so if you choose to do that, I'm just letting you know, you may not get caught, but you may get caught. So I would avoid that like the plague. If you run into a company that is telling you that they offer credit sweeps and that you should just start filling out fraudulent police reports, lying to the cops and then lying to the credit bureaus, and by the way, sending all that information to the U.S. mail system, which makes it a federal offense. So I think you get the point that that's not a good idea. The third one is also illegal. CPNs, using a CPN, a credit privacy number. Again, a CPN doesn't exist. It's a made-up thing. It's a slick marketing tool used by credit repair companies. The credit privacy number is essentially an alternate to your social security number. So it is a 9-digit number that is not your social security number. It actually might be the social security number of someone else, or it might be the social security number of a minor, or it might be the social security number of a dead person. Regardless, it is not your social security number. That's what we know is 100% true. And so what a CPN is, the tactic that these credit repair companies will do is it's called file segregation. And what they're trying to do is basically they'll sell you this number, this 9-digit number, and then they will coach you to go out and apply for credit with that new number and stop applying for credit with your actual valid social security number. What suggest will happen from that point forward, and there's of course no proof that this actually works, I'm just telling you what they'll tell you, is that by doing this, then you will leave your credit history kind of in the past, and then you will create a new credit history because you're using a new 9-digit social security number. So a couple of things. None of the credit reporting agencies recognize CPNs as being valid alternatives to your social security number. You may find YouTube videos, you may find articles talking about how wonderful they are and how celebrities use them and how politicians use them. It's not actually true. You know, Tiger Woods isn't out there using a fake social security number. You know, the president isn't using a fake social security number. That's not what's happening. That's baloney. However, what is true is that if you knowingly put false information on a credit application, that's fraud. Fraud is illegal. So just keep that in mind. If you run into any credit repair companies who are trying to get you to use any of these bad tactics, the 609 letter is not necessarily illegal. It's just not really a thing. CPN is clearly an attempt to defraud a lender, and the credit sweep is clearly illegal because filing a false police report is a crime. Please keep that in mind. Save your money. Don't buy any of those things or any of those services. There are other credit repair companies that are more what I call white hat. They do things the right way. They're just going to send dispute letters that truly represent what you say is wrong with an account in an attempt to get that information corrected. So that's it for today. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you have a great rest of your day. Thanks.
For more videos and credit tips from John Ulzheimer, go to www.tradelinesupply.com.